and good day everyone. My name is Aini Farhana BINTI ANUAR. My student ID is 2025158039. My lecturer's name is Miss Aini BINTI ANUAR. Today I will be discussing the behavior decision model. The behavior decision model is a framework that explains how individuals make decisions. Unlike traditional decision-making models, which assume that people always act logically and rationally, the behavioral decision model recognizes that decision-making is often influenced by psychological factors, cognitive biases, and emotional states. This influence can cause people to deviate from purely rational behavior. In addition, this model acknowledges that emotion, social pressure, cognitive limitation, and mental shortcut, known as heuristic, plays a significant role in how decisions are made. Understanding this factor is important because it helps us better explain and predict real-world decision behavior, which are often more complex than simple logical calculation. Let me now explain some key characteristics of the behavioral decision model. Firstly, heuristic. Heuristics are mental shortcuts or simple rules of thumb that individuals use to make decisions more efficiently, especially under conditions of time pressure or limited information. While heuristics can be helpful, they sometimes lead to bias or suboptimal outcomes. For example, the ability heuristic occurs when people base their decision on information that is more readily available in their memory rather than all relevant information. Second, the framing effect describes how the way information is presented can significantly improve decision outcome, even if the underlying effects remain the same. Third, overconfident bias refers to the tendency for individuals to overestimate their knowledge, ability, or the accuracy of their prediction. This bias can lead to excessive risk-taking or poor decision. Lastly, social and emotional influence are powerful forces in decision-making. People are often affected by the opinions of others, societal expectations, and their own emotional states such as fear, excitement, or stress. Because of this factor, decision may be driven more by a desire to fit in or emotional reaction rather than careful logical analysis. Now, let's take a closer look at a real-world example of the framing effect, which is one of the key characteristics of the behavioral decision model. Imagine you are in a grocery store looking for a healthy yogurt. You come across two identical products. One has a label that says 18% fat-free and the other says contain 20% fat. Even though both labels mean exactly the same thing, most people will choose the one that says 80% fat-free. Why? Because it sounds more positive and healthier. This shows how the way information is framed can influence our decision. The word fat-free sounds more appealing and health-conscious than content fat, even though the actual fat content is the same. This is a clear example of how framing affects our judgment, not based on logic or fact, but on how the information makes us feel. So, in this case, consumers aren't choosing based on rational fact, but on emotional ratio to the label wording. That's why companies use positive framing in marketing to influence our buying choices. Let us look at an example of overconfident bias, a key characteristic in the behavioral decision model. Imagine a student who believes they fully understand a topic and feel very confident before a class presentation. Because of this, they skip rehearsing and don't prepare any notes. However, during the presentation, they forgot important points and struggle to explain clearly. This example shows how overconfidence leads to poor preparation. The student overestimates their ability and underestimates the need of practice. Overconfident bias often causes individuals to ignore necessary steps or take unnecessary risks, resulting in weaker outcomes. Recognizing this bias is important to avoid making similar mistakes in academic and real-life situations. In conclusion, the behavioral decision model provides valuable insight into the complexity of human decision-making. It shows that decisions are influenced by more than just logic. They are shaped by psychological biases, emotion, and social factors. Recognizing key characteristics such as heuristic, the framing effect, overconfident bias, and social-emotional influence allow us to better understand why people sometimes make irrational decisions. In addition, by being aware of this influence, individuals can improve their own decision-making process. Likewise, organizations can design better strategy and communication to support more informed and balanced choices. Overall, the behavioral decision model enriches our understanding of decision making in the real world and helps bridge the gap between theory and practice. That's all from me. Thank you for listening.